Single shots right now. Bear with me. Let me switch over to so what's going on? Just so we want to do these tonight. Actually, this one we need to do a switch to most of that we put this is going to be phone numbers. I don't know. It's the same. Still outside my right. See that.
Seconds. Stop, unload, place your safety flags, unshoulder your rifles, and turn as you face the audience.
Ladies and gentlemen, USA Shoot would like to welcome you to the 2014 Winter Airgun Day 3 competition. This is your open men's air rifle final. Let's meet your finalists. On firing point A, the Day 3 qualification score of 619.9, George Norton. On firing point B, with a score of 624.2, Tyler Rico. On firing point C, with a score of 619.6, Timothy Sherry. On firing point D, with a score of 617.9, Garrett Spurgeon. On firing point E, with a score of 617.8, Tom Singe. On firing point F, with a score of 619.8, Brian Walliser. On firing point G, with a score of 623.1, Dan Lowe. And on firing point R2, with a score of 619.8, Ryan Anderson. Your range officers for today's final are Gail Shetler and Bill Lutz, and your chief range officer is Mr. Earl Whitman.
Take your positions. For your first competition series, load. Start. Stop.
After our first 3 shots, your leader with a score of 31.1 is Tyler Rico. Things are very tight at the top. Mr. Walliser is just 1/10 of a point behind Mr. Rico, with Mr. Norton 2/10 of a point out of second. Looking to make up some ground in the 8th position is Mr. Anderson. He trails Mr. Singe by 1.6 points. A reminder to get loud for your athletes.
For your next competition series, load, start. Stop.
With the best score of that series, your new leader with a score of 61.7 is Garrett Spurgeon. We have a tie for second place between Mr. Lowe and Mr. Norton, both 0.2 of a point behind, with Mr. Rico and Mr. Walliser tied 0.1 of a point behind them. Sitting in the 8th position is Mr. Anderson. He has closed the gap and now trails Mr. Singe by just 0.3 of a point. We now move into the single shot series.
For your next competition shot, load, start. Stop.
With that 10.5, your new leader is George Norton. Mr. Lowe trails him by just 0.4 of a point, with Mr. Spurgeon 0.3 of a point behind him. With an elimination looming, Mr. Anderson trails Mr. Singe by 0.2 of a point.
For your next competition shot, load, start. Stop.
In confirmed 8th position. On firing point R2 with a score of 79.8, Ryan Anderson. Mr. Norton remains atop the leaderboard. He is 0.2 of a point ahead of Mr. Lowe, with Mr. Spurgeon, who is 0.2 of a point behind him. Sitting in the 7th position is Mr. Singe. He is 0.8 of a point behind Mr. Rico, who is just 0.1 of a point behind Mr. Walliser.
For your next competition shot, load, start.
Your new leader with that 10.7 is Dan Lowe, as he moves ahead of Mr. Norton, who is 0.6 of a point behind. Mr. Sherry in third, 1/10 of a point behind Mr. Walliser, who is 0.2 of a point behind Mr. Rico.
For your next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
In confirmed 7th position. On firing point E with a score of 100, Tom Singe. Lowe continues to lead as Mr. Sherry moves into the 2nd position, now 0.3 of a point behind, with Mr. Norton 0.3 of a point behind him. Sitting in the 6th position is Mr. Rico. He is 0.6 of a point behind Mr. Wallace.
For your next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
Some very impressive scores that round. Mr. Lowe increases his lead with that perfect 10-point. He now leads Mr. Norton by 0.8 of a point, with Mr. Spurgeon moving into the 3rd position and 1/10 of a point behind him. Sitting on the bubble in the 6th position is Mr. Rico. He is 1.6 points behind Mr. Wallace.
For your next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
In confirmed 6th position. On firing point B with a score of 121.2, Tyler Rico. Lowe able to increase his lead yet again. He now leads Mr. Norton and Spurgeon, who are tied by 1.3 points. Sitting in the 5th position is Mr. Sherry. He is 1 point behind Mr. Wallace.
For your next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
With the best score of that round, Mr. Lowe continues to increase his lead. He now leads Mr. Spurgeon by 1.5 points, with Mr. Walliser and Norton 0.4 of a point behind him. On the bubble in the 5th position sits Mr. Sherry. He is 1.5 points behind Mr. Walliser and Mr. Norton.
For your next competition shot, load. Start.
In confirmed 5th position, on firing point F with a score of 142.1, Brian Walliser. Mr. Lowell continues to lead, now 1.4 points ahead of Mr. Spurgeon, who is half a point ahead of Mr. Norton. Mr. Sherry sits in the 4th position, 1.1 points behind.
For your next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
Mr. Lowe continues to lead. He leads Mr. Spurgeon by 1.2 points. Mr. Sherry moving into the 3rd position, 1.2 points behind. This elimination shot will be Mr. Norton sits in the 4th position, half a point behind Mr. Sherry.
For your next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
In confirmed 4th position, on firing point A with a score of 162, George Norton. Mr. Lowe increases, he now leads Mr. Spurgeon by 2.4 points, with Mr. Sherry in the 3rd position, 0.7 of a point out of 2nd.
For your next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
A good round there for the athletes. Mr. Lowe continues to lead Mr. Spurgeon by 2.4 points. And on the bubble in the 3rd position, Mr. Sherry trails Mr. Spurgeon by just 0.4 of a point.
For your next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 3rd place finisher on firing point C with a score of 182.2, Timothy Sherry. And with 2 shots remaining, Mr. Lowe leads Mr. Spurgeon by 2.6 points.
For your next competition shot, load. Start.
With that 10.7, Mr. Lowe increases his lead, and with 1 shot remaining, he leads Mr. Spurgeon by 3.1 points.
For your next competition shot, load. Start. unload, result the final.
Ladies and gentlemen, your second place finisher is Garrett Spurgeon. And your Big 3 champion is Dan Lowe.
Who's laughing? Him.
Security gave me a job.